Hi guys, I hope you all are fine. In previous video I have talked about the PV, PVC and attach that PVC with the deployment. And we have done successfully practical about this deployment. And right now I have come up again, and that is deployment of PVC is created with the static one. Static storage or statically created or some manual work we have done it. Means we have to create it well PVC manually, then we have created PV, then PV get the storage of 10 GB with the help of worker node or any node. So it is actually getting the storage from the related to your cluster. We have configured that one locally, connected our things with PV and PVC. So all the things are coming from the locally. So now I have come up again. Before that, I have created one more thing in clear in mind with dynamic storage. What is this? The dynamic storage is like something you have created PVC, automatically behind the scene it's created PV and automatically created the 10 GB space, and it's getting from your storage area and it is maybe your local one, or it's maybe your AWS, Azure, GCP, like that one. So for that you have to uh, configure a storage class. First of all, you have to check your is there any one storage class is available in your Kubernetes cluster. So if there is no there is no storage classes available, so you cannot create it a dynamic storage dynamically created your PV and PVC. So you have to configure that one manually. So statically you can say it. So for right now we are using a Kubespray cluster. So there is no storage class by default available. So we can go and create that one. After this means I'm in my upcoming video I will tell you how to create this thing and create the dynamically. So if you are using a Minikube is providing you add-on which is a storage provisioning. So you have to enable that one. Once you enable it, so when you are typing the command kubectl get sc, then you will see there is a default storage come up. So that storage is your dynamic storage, and that is created on behalf of you a PV. So once the things is means enable on this add-on a feature in the Minikube, so you can provisioning your storage dynamically in the Kubernetes cluster. So we will so dynamically created when you are going to create a PVC file. So we were using a storage class in the double quote, and it's an empty one in my previous video. So it's mean it's a static storage. So once you define the name in the double quotation, so that uh, will be a dynamic one. So you can just put your name, a default name here in the double quotation, so it will be automatically created a dynamic provisioning. So it's very easy one, so you can try it yourself. If it's not done, so let me know, so I will try my try as well and share with you on a video. So let's move on to the topic. So today we are going to do something like, let's see, we have this K8 cluster, And in case cluster we deployment created a deployment, and deployment created a pod. So in pod we have a static storage. In my previous video we created that one and attached that storage, that is was a PVC PV, then PVC, and it's attached with our deployment, and then we relaunch again, and all the things are done by manually. Var ww HTML was my path. So right now what we are going to do, we are means that is all my storage are come from locally, means our node or worker node. This thing is providing storage is providing by these two things. So now we are what we are going to do, we are getting same storage with our NAS, which is network area storage. Means we are getting now a storage with a network area storage. We can get the storage from other machine, which is inside our cloud or outside the cloud. It's depend upon you. So that is means not dependent on your, not dependent on your current cluster. So before that it was dependent on my worker node or my master node, because this thing is providing, or the storage is providing by the worker node locally. So now we have removed these dependencies and move it to the over the cloud. So it may be in your a GCP cloud, it may be a AWS one, means, or it's another your NFS server, you can say it. So mostly in AWS you can use it as a EFS server, EFS services, and we are using here NFS with the help of network file system server. So how we can configure it? Let's suppose we have this our master node. Is just suppose we have master, or it's maybe your worker node. We are here right now, and we are going to connect our NFS server on second machine. This has then one IP, this has the two IP, let's suppose, and we are getting some storage from NFS with the help of networking. So what is the NFS server? In NFS server we will go first install the NFS server. You can Google it and install it. It's very easy. There is no it's in a rocket science in it. Once you've done it, then start the service. After that you will go and check your etc export fs file, and in this file you have to write your the thing which you need to be shared to with your any node. It's not restricted here on Kubernetes or something like that. So if you have general setup on your NFS server, you have to provide this thing. So in go to in your export fs entry and write down first your uh, shared path. Once you shared path, then space and then IP, and then some parameters need to be done, and then save it and close this file. So IP, what will be the IP of your client side. So this will be our server end, and this will be our client end. So right now we have the client IP is one, so you have to write the one IP and then some parameter I will show you in a couple of minutes, and then you have to save and close it. And path will be come from the your NFS server. What will be the path you need to be shared? So let's see. I have created the path ape data. We are going to share my data from this directory, and this directory will be mounted to my this server. Okay, so let's and after that, once this setup is done, you have to come on your client end and then install NFS utilities or NFS common. You have to just install it in your any client, whatever it's your, maybe your Kubernetes cluster or maybe in your simple one machine. So it's a general overview of the NFS. So if you face any problem in the versioning, so you have to just means problem. So you just little bit Google it and it will be resolved. So don't worry about it. If you face any problem, so let me know. I will clear it because some versioning issues will become while you are sharing your NFS. So that was not a big deal for us. So here, what we are going to do, we will get a storage service from NFS, and this NFS will provide a storage to my deployment, and then deployment will be on the board and storage in terms of PVC and PV, and all the things are done by this. So before that we are using a local one, now we are using the NFS services. So NFS is will be a plugin in the Kubernetes, so you can see the documentation of the storage class or storage plugins in the Kubernetes, so you can check it. So you will be before the NFS we were using a host path. If you remember, host path means you will getting your storage services locally, or a host from the host. Okay, so now we are using the NFS here. So let's move on to the practical and see whether it's working or not. So for that we need a one NFS server. First of all, let's move on to the NFS, and then we will check about to go and check what we can do for this. So I have one of the server, which is right now I have the IP of this server is this one, and I have already installed NFS server. It's up and running, and after that I have to just check what I have. etc export s. So I have shared my app data, and app data I have shared this IP, and then read write and no root square some parameter which I have told you. So let's see, it's export fs minus v. So it's now exporting that this directory or share this directory to this services. So let's move on to that my server IP. I have this one right now. Let's see if any network we have to check first network connectivity for to them 2.3.225. Okay, it's working. So I am able to ping my NFS server once it's done. So let's try and mount it. So let me mount minus t nf trial type, and then I have to put the name and then the app data and then my data. So it's now mounting. So it's mean the things are good to go. So there is no issue. So let me unmount it. Then we will go for next part. So I have already given, and in my previous video I have just created same thing PVC, and then we again created the PV. So let's see if anything is deployed here or not. Deployments. So there is no deployment. Let's see any pod is running. So I think there will be no pod. So let's see any kubectl get PV. There is no PV. Kubectl that PVC. So there is no PVC. Let's move on to the same copy. Let me PVC copy PVC NFS .yaml. So let's see, there is the same thing, there is nothing change. We are going to storage statically, so there will be no change come up. Storage claim will be the volume claim, persistent volume claim. PVC is the kind of that one, and storage class will be the static one, read write ones, resource and 10 GB. So it will be as same as it is which we have created the previously. So let's create this one, minus f PVC NFS. So it's created now. So let's move on to the kubectl PVC. It's now pending state. Which why is pending state? I have already described it in my previous video. So you may check and go to my previous video and check it about. Now we have to, because we also know about the PVC is depend upon your PV. So let's copy again the PV YAML, PV NFS YAML. So let's move PV NFS YAML, and we have created same thing, but the only things will be changed here. So what will be the change come up? So let me tell you about this one. So first of all, the things will be come up here is NFS. After that you need a server IP server, and the IP will be 10 dot, because I know my NFS IP, this one, and the path will be changed because what I have shared, that is one, this one. So this will be on my NFS. There is nothing changed, nothing big in it in the NFS connectivity. So you have just need to just first of all check your mount path is working or not. So once it's done, so then you can changing your the things according to you in your PV file. So let's move on to the deployment. So sorry, we so let created the PV NFS. So it's created. Let's see if any PVC have been bound or not. It's bounded. It's create kubectl get PV. It's retained bound 14 seconds ago. Okay, so this is the thing have been done, and all the things are coming from my NFS server. So my NFS server is this one, and I have already created a one folder. This is which we have right now, there is nothing on it. Okay, so let's move on to the deployment side. So we have already created one deployment which is related to our PVC. So let's check off again PVI deployment PVC. So same as it is, nothing change here because we are using that one. So same image will be running, the same mount path and the name of the PVC container selector and all the things. So it's depend upon your application to application, you can change it. So let me create this deployment, minus f deployment PVC, and it's done. So it's done now. Let's see ports are running or not. So it's still creating one, still creating. So it will be taking little bit time. Why it's taking, let's describe code. uh, there if NFS is not running on this one, so it says mounting failed. So let's see what is the issue in it. So I think the thing is related to it's my going on to my another worker nodes, because I have just allowed this thing on my this worker node. So let me allow that one to others as well. So let's move on to the this one, and vi etc export fs. Okay, so it's my worker node will be a 4 one, then my worker node 5. Okay, and 5 4 I have already you need to be installed maybe uh, let's see if right now it's still creating or not. Okay, it's fine. Let's move on to the. So the issue which is I have facing in the mount access deny by the server. So I have gone because I have multiple nodes in my cluster. So I have 3 nodes in my cluster. So I have just allow my master IP in the NFS server. So but the things are going on to my third node or 2 nodes. Okay, so before that, how I fixed it, so I just move into the my NFS server, and once the NFS server I have uh, enter on my NFS server, I just check the things on my export fs minus v. Before that it was just running on 193, so I have just go on etc and export. So I have just allowed these IPs as well for same location. So once I did it and then restart the services of NFS, and then I go on to my deployment on my master node, and let's see again my deployment created I have. So once I created this deployment, let's see its pod is running or not. So right now it's running in before 3 seconds above. So we have successfully done NFS connectivity with my pod. So let's move into the pod and see whether it's working fine or not, or is there any thing which is very good for us, or thing to be verify the NFS connectivity. Let's move and check the TF minus KH. So I am inside the pod, and my NFS server is mounted on my pod actually, and my data will not never be lost. So let's write the on the etc, oh sorry, var www.html, and we can create the index.html, and I can write this is my first page of NFS. Okay, so I just wrote it here. Before that, I think we didn't expose it, so we need to expose. Oh, it's already exposed, so let's try it's right now working or not. So if it's not working, we will definitely move on to the uh, creating a new services. It was the old services, so there is no such big deal for us, I hope so. So this is service is working fine. This is my first page of NFS. So let's try and delete the pod and see my data is still over there or not. So let me delete pod and minus minus all. So my pod will be deleted and the new pod will be launched. So nr is deleted. Let's see what the name of new pod get pod. So it's 243, and we are going again here and see its data is still available. So the thing which is we have done successfully the NFS connectivity with our deployment. So there is no, if your entire structure of your compute level side, if all the things are going, your data center is down, but the things which you have put it your the data on outside your data center, so your data will never be lost, so you will make connectivity anytime with your data. So we have proved that the things is done and working fine. Let's scale up and see all it's working or not. So deployment name, and then minus minus replicas equal to 3. So it's scale up, kubectl get ports, so it's all are running. So let's move in randomly on one port and see it's working or not. It's still minus it, I believe it will be work here. So we are randomly come up in new port and see there all the data is still means your all the PVC volumes are or NFS volume are shared in the these replicas. So if you change anything in any port, so your reflection will be done. So there is no need to be worry about. So var www.html and index.html. Let's write something new here. Replicas. Let's see. Just I have written here replicas. So once I remove and go got here, so my things are replicated as well. So guys, I hope you learn this thing how to connectivity, storage connectivity or NFS connectivity with your Kubernetes cluster and launch your pod and give the PV and PVC from your NFS storage side. We will move inshallah on the EFS as well. I will try my best to share this video as well to connectivity with EFS services and mount it here. Some volume we have cluster on another and another public cloud. We have the NFS services on other clouds. So we will make connectivity and put our data on EFS server, EFS side, and compute levels will be on other server side or another data center side. So guys, I hope you like this video, and if I have missed something, please let me know. If you face any problem, so kindly let me know as well. Thank you guys for watching this video. Before going to the move on to the ending part, I have just let me show you from where we have seen the data. This is my NFS server, which is 254. So we are on same directory, and you can see the file is here. So you can see it here. This is my first page and the replicas. So all the my things are coming from where on from my remote location, from my Kubernetes server. It's my Kubernetes and the NFS. We have put the file here over index.html, and this file is reflected to my ports in the ports. So that's why we are seeing all the things. If you are all the things, all the cluster is down, terminated, or your the data center is down, your data or your electricity is not available, so whatever the cases in your primary side, but your data will never be lost because it's your outside of your premises or outside your domain. So we can put it here. For this you need a network connection, a network connectivity between these two. So first of all you have to check the network connectivity. So if it's good and great, so you can move on it. So I think this is a great thing to implement in your environment. If you are using some very um, in terms of any high quality of your data. So thank you guys for watching this video again, and I hope you like this video and share with others as well, and you learn so many more things. I will try my best to cover up as much as possible things. Thank you guys. Bye.